Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. This is part 2 of the 12th of August 2024. The current time is 5:14 p.m. I'm back to make part 2 on my laptop camera because I made part 2 on my iPhone and we got cut off again, and I decided I don't want to have parts 2s and 3s and all these intermittent breakups and breakdowns, and also I segued and waffled too much about things, and so I've decided to remake part 2 and hopefully I'll complete it all in one video, because I've got terrible troubles with my iPhone storage again. It's driving me bats. It's got something to do with it's trying to put everything in the cloud, and then it just chops out all my storage. I don't know. It's meant to. I don't know what I pay for the cloud for. I pay about $15-16 a month, and then that doesn't seem to bloody work either. It's crazy making. But anyway, on we go, onwards and upwards, carry on intrepidly, and I'm starting again from where we got cut off in part 1. So I had just shared back in 2021 the video link to my YouTube video, Show Me a Child by the Age of 7 and I'll Show You the Man. And I commented, I have the urge to post this video again. I will never be silenced, and I will honour my path and my truth. Not dying has consequences beyond mortal imagination. So there is that. Then we continue on. Some loveliness after my video life review. And can just make it out and try and focus. The lovely tulips in my garden. Jared brought me this knife and spoon that had a kind of Delft pattern to them. I could not bend them, and the enamel started to flake off on the knife, so I drilled holes in them and made them into part of my wind chime instead. And here you have it. Hard to see, I guess. There. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that was me cutting power shells, which made me very, very ill indeed. Frankly, I almost died sitting on my couch. So valuable lesson learned there. Use a respirator when cutting shells, in particular power and mother of pearl, but I guess it applies to pearls and any other kind of shell as well. Jared asked, pendants or inlay? I replied, not sure yet. They might be pendants as too large for inlay, although I did inlay one big love heart power into my big, very large cutlery canteen that I upcycled as a jewellery box for displaying jewellery for my shop that I'm still manifesting. You kind of have to laugh. I have a massive headache and can't sleep as I think I inhaled too much shell dust. I need to buy a respirator if I'm going to keep doing this work. I did cut them in the sink underwater, but it was not working too well, so dust ended up everywhere. Oops. At least wear your fabric mask, replied Jared. It will keep you from inhaling as much. And I replied, yes, but you know me, caught in the moment. My hands swelled up with those weird fluid pockets too. I am too old for this shit, but I enjoyed my mad burst of creativity. Oops, I worked too hard today carding wool, then cutting abalone shell for my fake Dremel this evening, but it's worth suffering for my art in it. You can just see the pockets of fluid that get under my knuckles when I've overworked my hands. It's probably somehow related to my arthritis. I don't know. I asked the GP what caused that. She didn't know either, but she made an art of not knowing shit, especially during the COVID epoch, the height of it. She was really just fucking inept. But anyway, here I wrote, I just spoke to Conrad Henderson in New Zealand, who makes the most stunning jewellery out of kauri gum, which is like the equivalent of, looks like amber. It's beautiful. He does most beautiful work. I've been admiring his creations for a while now. Lost Inspirations Carving and Jewellery on Facebook. Just stunning work. I actually wanted to buy a piece from him, but they're quite expensive and I didn't have enough money, but beautiful. I'm still spruiking him because I really admired his carvings. Bag of 3 different types of alpaca and sheep wool, washed and carded and ready to be spun. I had to buy another slicker brush on eBay as my one broke. Lots of fleece to brush. I feel like I've gone mad trying to get it all done in such a hurry after leaving it lying around for 2 years. And when I finally get round to spinning all that fleece, I'll probably be in a hurry to do that too. I get very obsessed when I've got a project to do. It's one of my things I observed through this silversmithing journey is how obsessive and intrepid I get when I'm trying to complete a task. I didn't used to be like that when I was younger. I didn't give a shit. I would start something and just not finish it and not care, but I don't know, maybe it's part of the aging process, or maybe it's because I've nearly died so many bloody times that now I'm like, I can't die without finishing that task at hand, It becomes an inordinate amount of pressure. 12th of August 2020. Busy day. I spent most of the day sanding the pink marble table. Still not finished. Ugh. I got myself a nice sunburn too. I also raked up the bamboo leaves, did a little bit of pruning in the garden, the grapevine that never fruits, the blueberry bush that eventually died. I watered the new seedlings of beans, peas and corn, which was a waste of time since the possums eat them all. I'm really frustrated with my gardening efforts at the moment too. Then my site called me for my debrief, which confused me as it usually happens on Friday. He reminded me to remain in my own truth and not to give too much of myself away when I meet new people. Hold back until I know they are safe. He worries about me being isolated. I told him I'm doing well but working myself to death in some sort of frenzy with the sanding of the tabletop. Then in the early evening I made pumpkin and potato soup with spring onions and chives from my garden. I then vacuumed the entire house. I am so sore and so exhausted. Another hot bath will be in order, methinks. But I have had another happy day. It's been a good week so far, which is a relief after all the recent horror. 12th of August 2019. Another bad night of insomnia and woke up with a grinding pain in the left side of my belly. No idea what that is. Mind you, that was only just almost 2 months after my gallbladder surgery. The pain is mild, so might just be my gut. I rested on Saturday and Sunday as I felt weak from dancing on Friday. My doctor wants me to exercise even more. She is out of her mind. 4 hours nearly kills me. But anyway, here I go. A lovely morning with sunshine. Gonna sit outside with a cup of tea and breathe. Happiness. Nothing much else to do but stay alive as long as possible. I stayed in bed until 8:30 a.m. even though I only slept from 4 a.m. My mind was constantly thrashing. I would doze and wake up all night long. I went to bed exhausted at 10:30 p.m. Maybe my doctor is right. Instead of lying there like a deflated blancmange, I should have run through the streets of Brisbane screaming, "Bring out your dead!" until I blacked out. Ridiculous. My former psychiatrist warned me this would happen one day, that I would only require 3 to 4 hours of sleep. But I need to heal my body, and I need lots of sleep to do it. Oh well, exercise, exercise. This is the result of exercise. Pain in my guts and a mind that is racing. Size, which is short for psychedelic dreamer. Size. I shared a meme. Aliens announce this morning they will not pay for Trump's Space Force. And I wrote, "No way, we won't pay. Not for your false prophets and false gods and false flags and human errors and desecration of your planet. Not for your addiction to myopic ignorance and navel gazing instead of stargazing. Not for your seclusion and destruction, and not for your hate. When we walk among you, we see your void, which can never be filled, as greed and lust and hunger to subvert all is your only motivator. We do not show ourselves, as you monkey minds cannot be trusted with the love and machinery of the multiverses." 12th of August 2018. Let's try and bring this into focus. Will it let me? Doobie. Oh, here we go. Does anyone else feel like they're being watched? And the Central Intelligence Agency replied with "there," THEY''RE. Ah, freaking hilarious. I still laugh about that one. Another gloriously beautiful sunny day, feeling happy in spite of my health issues. Another day in paradise. I need to get more natural yogurt and some sauerkraut to try to bring balance to my acid levels in my gut. Apparently, yummy flavoured yogurt is also forbidden. But it's worth trying to moderate some of my worst dietary mistakes, as this constant weakness and frequent attacks are very, very mortifying. That was the year before the surgery. Genug, old lady whining. What fabulous things can we manifest today? I had a lot of love from old friends last night, and of course my beautiful Jenny. I overdid the dancing as usual, so everything hurts, but the exercise is good for me overall. Sacred space, unfurling her treasures. Very pretty. beautiful delights and manifestations of love. Feeling very grateful and content for the love of all my good friends. My life is wonderful because of you. Yes, indeed it is. Thank you. God bless you all. Last night there was a family group of Pacific Islanders from New Zealand dancing next to me. I met one of the women. I told her I have lived alone for 23 years. She grinned and said she had lived alone for 25 years. I high-fived her. I said, so like me, you were naive and married far too young. She laughed and said, yeah, for sure. We looked at each other and both yelled out, freedom! I love my freedom, she said. I nodded and smiled. Me too. Mind you, that was 6 years ago now, and here I am, 29 and a half years of singledom, kind of hoping to find out who my true loving partner is going to be, am I right? Sad but true. I hope they afford me a fair bit of freedom still though, because I do love my freedom. We looked at each other. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm past that point. I nodded and smiled. Me too. It turns out she also went to my high school, Wellington Girls College. I found that very interesting. Her brother was very flamboyant and was dancing around me, and I told him I admired his beautiful shoes. They were red glitter with silver toe caps. I have never seen such exquisite men's shoes. He handed me a Corona, which was lovely. I was worried about being over the limit, so I shared it with Jenny. I had earlier in the evening been showing Jenny my wedding photos, which was quite triggering. It was a tragic day, as my father-in-law had died 2 nights before, and I was distressed as my mother had turned up to shul in full blazing narcopathic glory, and I had not really wanted her there, as she had kicked me out of the house, 2 weeks before the wedding, which I was very, very upset about. Then she turned up to my wedding like she had some entitlement to be there. She didn't. Apart from being my mother, she had contributed nothing to the wedding, but had manipulated from the background. In fact, she continued to abuse and manipulate me for the rest of her life. Anyway, last night was beautiful and spiritual. Mama T is back in her own power, mojo, mana, despite her health issues. Sometimes I have to step outside myself and watch the spiralling confluences lock together like the cogs in a wheel, never knowing how they will connect up in a distant or near future, or what immediate choices or profound impacts I may have recalibrated in my present moment. That is how the magic happens. The mystery and the revelatory surprises of the entire multiverses. I hope one day my life will make perfect sense and I will be at peace. 12th of August 2017, 4:17 a.m. Home. Feel shattered as I became exhausted and hypervigilant after several jovial drunk men kept touching me. So I became enraged and knew it was time to go home. Apart from that, I had a nice time dancing on my own spot until I almost went home early at 1 a.m. as a creepy couple were hassling me to have my spot. I let them. It was interesting when I came back after getting a coffee at the 7-Eleven to see the creepy couple in my spot, but I just sat and rested my very sore back and drank a JD and calmly observed them from a distance. I also bemusedly observed the giant vacuous slug of a nympho that pashes every male off in the live-wire bar, work the room. It made me glad. I am not her. Horrible, cheap woman. But she keeps staring at me and wanting my attention, as I am powerful and, of course, untouchable by choice. So I don't even know why I bother going out. Really, it is such a waste of my time. I guess I live in a fantasy that there might be a few decent men there, apart from my long-term casino friends, who are completely platonic, of course. By now, after 7 years, I must be the resident freak. Some woman asked me if I have deodorant in my bag. Random. I gave her some Lang Lang oil to rub on herself. I put some on too. I warned her it was an aphrodisiac, so expect trouble. And we laughed. Within 5 minutes, men were surrounding her. I said, "Incoming!" and we both giggled. This was at 3 a.m, so it got very busy with all the drunks kicked out of the pubs. She was a bikey chick, so she handled them well, but I got overtired and needed to go home after a couple of blokes kept grabbing my arm. One I slapped off me as I was sitting, resting, looking at my iPhone. The cheek of it! I am not there to entertain them like the slug who slobbers over their tonsils. Ugh! Anyway, it's kind of funny in a way, isn't it? The Tanya and her freak show foibles, waiting for Godot in an artificial, superficial world, because primarily I don't fit in any world. Never have, never will. But I like who I am, even if it means eternal alienation. The sea monkeys have my money, home and lovers. I have my integrity, my courage, my life, and a few good friends. Yes, Charlie. So a few good, true friends. Fewer by the day, as I am transitioning rapidly. By that I don't mean transitioning as in dying, I meant transitioning out of all the toxic wastrels and useless and awful and vicious and backstabby and putrescent former friends, right? I was just eliminating them all so I could have a life that's clean and clear and surrounded by good, kind, noble, decent, honouring, genuinely loving friends, and potentially one day, a lover or sexual partner or a life partner, because let's face it, I wasn't going to get anything like that surrounded by all that toxic waste stuff there with all those really rotten, evil, putrescent people. And, anyway, I refuse to accept abuse of any kind. I watched a movie about Ernest Hemingway, who kept attempting suicide until he finally managed to shoot himself in his own home, as he never felt truly loved. I hear you, brother. My time is nigh, but not tonight, Josephine. I am only hanging on in the vague, mindlessly stupid hope that I might meet one of my grandchildren one day. Sad but true. And now I've given up on the hope of even having grandchildren, and it's really quite tragic. But I'm not suicidal anymore. I'm really looking forward to my beautiful life manifesting, and I'm making it happen every day in every way, and trying to heal myself with the CPAP device. And who knows what the future holds in 6 to 12 months. Maybe things will finally, my beautiful man might finally begin a life partnership with me. I don't know who that person is, because it would have to be someone who's available. But anyway, 6 to 12 months. It was prophesied 30 years ago that I would be happy and successful and in a loving relationship when I'm 60. And of course, the timing might be out. The timing might be out. It may never manifest. I mean, I might have fucked up somewhere along the way in my life path that has prevented me from ever having a loving partnership. So who knows? I don't know. It's in the lap of the gods. But anyway, I'm not sweating on that. I'm just every day in every way enjoying every moment of every day and enjoying my truly loving, beautiful friends. You know who you are, and I'm so grateful for you all, and I adore you all and love you deeply, more than you can even probably quantify. And I'm grateful to have, really wonderful people in my life at long last. Some of you have been in my life for decades, but some of you only really, deepen the friendship in about the last 4 or 5 years. So there is that. But I'm so happy and grateful, even just in this moment alone, to have you in my life, and however that manifests, my gorgeous ones. It is part of the human condition to want to witness the future blossom with your own progeny, a vanity and a folly. Well, actually, it's not such a folly, it's a biological imperative, but, given what happened in the last 4 years, it's not likely to happen now. So I've had to reach acceptance and grieve over that too. But anyway, bottom line, this is written, of course, back in, what year was it? 2017. So 7 years ago. Bottom line, no one really gave a shit about me. I have to live with that and die with it too. But all good. My dog is truly happy to see me. The cats too. Now they've all gone too. Charlie, the universe gifted me him or her as compensation, will kiss me in the morning. Kissy kissy for the mama. Where's your kisses? You need to go to bed soon, Charlie. Where's my kissy? Stingy smoocher tonight, Charlie. No kisses. She's not in the mood. Oh, all right, Charlie. Only spirits and animals love me unconditionally and with honour. The Tanya, the chosen. Toda Rabah Hashem, thank you very much, God, for keeping me safe for yet another season. Bittersweet sorrow, but sublime joys. And life has gotten better since 2017. In fact, since I nearly died at that gallbladder surgery, 25th of June 2019. So there you go. The Holy One really did keep me safe for yet another season, and then some, rinse and repeat, including in recent memory. The Holy One is determined to keep me here on planet Earth, and sometimes, Charlie, it makes me wonder why. Why, Desiree? But anyway, here I am, strutting my stuff. Bittersweet sorrow, but sublime joys. 5:21 a.m. Boker Tov, good morning. Time to schluff, sleep. That means I'd stayed awake all night and had insomnia and hadn't slept, which is not too flaming good. I hope we're still filming, because now I've got trouble with my battery here on my laptop. It's like constant battling with technology today. It's grinding my gears. Anyway, here we go. Onwards and upwards. Is it charging? Yes. I needed to have this reminder today. I am who I love and not what loves me. Be me. Create a newer, better life for myself. Work on me. I've got this. Stupid machine. Honestly, it's so